We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Jack and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun.
Today's Jack Thursday, and I'm going to talk about how money is a terrible manager.
Yeah, you know what? I hate working for money.
Yep.
Money is a jerk.
If you work for your money, it's the worst boss you can have.
Totally. He's really unforgiving. You notice I made it a he. It's not a she.
Money is a he.
Money's a he. And he is a jerk. He's demanding. He's unforgiving. He always wants more.
And he has no emotion.
It's never enough. No emotion.
And
exactly. He complains all the time.
There's no explanation.
Exactly.
There's no explaining why you were late or
oh yeah,
why.
nope.
It's unforgiving.
Totally. That's right. And he always says, you didn't give me enough.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, you wanted that nice bracelet last week, so here we are.
Exactly. that's money. Man, somebody needs to fire that guy.
He's going to fire you before
That's
you fire
true.
money.
We need to sabotage money and get him out of there. Cool.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on our landinvestors.com online community. It's free. And please don't forget to subscribe on the Land Academy YouTube channel. Comment on the shows you like.
Okay. Martin wrote, I am brand new to Land Academy. I have a full-time job and 3 little kids.
Oh boy.
And I want to be successful. How much time do I really need to devote to this?
First of all,
go ahead.
Everyone has been where you are.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure where you're going with this.
So it's not like, darn it, I'm too late to the party, or man, I made a bunch of mistakes. I shouldn't have had that 3rd kid. I mean, maybe that's true, but that's up to you.
That's where I thought you were going with this.
So you need to really put your head into the right mindset where everyone's been in some version of this situation. Just about everyone. There's some exceptions that our world likes to make a huge example of, like, people born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but they have their own set of problems.
Yeah.
That I would argue are way worse than tackling what you're about to tackle.
Yeah, that's true. So what would you tell Martin? Get
organized and get, hopefully your the mother of your kids or whoever your partner is on board. Boy, it's really going to make it much, much, much harder.
They have to be on board.
If you're not a unified front with whoever you're involved with the kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then that's an issue that if you're not, then you're going to, that's overcomable. You can find find a person that is on board.
Well, you can get them on board. That's my goal. You need to have, this is a whole different, now we're taking it in a different direction.
I think we should, though, because I think this is important.
It is true. Like, I have talked to many, wives and husband and wives, and said, what do you need to know? And that's, I think part of it is because we're a couple, it makes it easier for other people to embrace us, other couples, and women to go, all right, Jill's there. Jill's there is going to make sure this all doesn't go sideways.
What I'm getting at is we didn't start as a couple.
True.
We started with other people, and
True.
They turned out not to be the partners that we wanted.
Yeah,
individually.
That's a whole nother show. But
and so we found the partners that we wanted.
But I have one thing to say about that, and I want to get back to the question, which is we have a member we just had in Career Path 5 last week, and I thought this was brilliant. One of our members, kind of in a similar situation with you, he's got a 2-year-old and another one or two, I don't know how many kids he's got. But anyway, he very smartly bought a case of his wife's favorite wine. And he only brings that bottle out when there's something to celebrate. So she knows when this bottle's coming out, he did some great deal and there's something we're celebrating. I'm like, that's brilliant. Because that gets her excited. Yeah. That's his way of telling his wife, like, we're doing great, baby. Here comes this fancy wine. I'm like, that's just awesome. So, but back to Martin's question is how much time? You know what, Martin, as much as you can, as much as you can, because it's just going to get you there faster. And the more organized you are, the easier it's going to be. Like, if you're organized and you give yourself tasks and you divide it out, then it's not going to feel like a crazy week or a lot going on. Like, this week is picking an area, and I allotted 2 hours on Monday night, and I have this much time on Thursday, and then on Sunday afternoon, while the kids are at the park, I've got my laptop on my lap, and I'm wrapping it up.
We've all heard these stories of people writing novels in between 4 o'clock and 5:30 in the morning. True. Before everybody gets up, before the kids get up. True. And then, they write half of a chapter or even just a paragraph every day, and True. End up, at the end of that, if they're extremely talented, end up with Harry Potter. And so this is no different.
Yeah.
If you have to put an hour and a half in, go to bed as early as you can, go to bed with the toddler at the same time that the toddler is going to bed, and get up before them, or however you can manage it. That's what this takes. And Jill and I have been through this collectively and separately.
Yeah. Remember the 4 a.m. club?
Yep.
We had a group. Club. We had a group inside Atlantic. They may still be floating around there. I bet they are. I'm sure there is a version of this right now, but they called themselves the 4 a.m. club. They found that they were all online at the same time, and it was like 4 a.m.
in Discord.
Yeah. And chatting and working together on deals, because that's when they could get it done, like you just said. They had to get up at 4. They could put in from 4 to 5, and then or 5:30, whatever it was, and then they get ready, and then they wake the kids up and start their day, and that's what they do, and it got them there.
The short answer to the question is you have to do whatever it takes, and without being so ultra organized, it's going to hurt
True.
more.
That's true.
It's just like working out, and it's going to feel great when you're done, and it's terrible while it's happening.
I'll leave it at that.
Today's Jack Thursday. I'm going to talk about how money is a terrible manager. This is why you're listening. You do not want your money to manage you, and the vast majority of people, me included, have gone through. A lot of people probably go through it their entire lives. They let money manage them. Mm-hmm. I know I did, and I'm pretty sure Jill did at the beginning of our lives. We did what everybody told us to do. We went to school, at whatever school we could handle and stand, and went out and got a job, and then started moving forward or backward, depending on how it goes. But the more stuff you accumulate, you've got a bunch of money coming in. Yeah. You start buying a house and a car payment and whatever else. It's money.
And a boat.
Money starts to laugh at you in the face.
Yeah.
Yep. You bought a house with a mortgage. That's 50% of what money coming in every month. Now you're spending it on a house that may or may not make money in the end. You don't know.
That's true.
But that's what we were told. Our parents made a lot of money on their houses, so I guess we should. Not the case at all.
Right.
You have to get your arms around how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. And if you can't stand like me, the idea of your money managing you want to flip that situation around, you're going to have to figure out how to scale the money that you have and create a revenue stream for yourself that is not tied to your time. Meaning, in 4 or 5 hours, I can have 6 deals under contract, and then I can start to get everybody in motion, a transaction coordinator or whoever's involved in my business at the time, real estate agents, multiple real estate agents, to start using my money and not taking my time to make me more money. Mm-hmm. Because it will control you. And the natural state, if you plant a garden and you don't do what it takes to manage the garden, and however you control the weeds and bugs and all of that, you're going to end up with a disaster, with an unusable product.
Right. It's just amazing how there's times you make decisions based. You know what? Let me run this by you. So I'm letting my money manage my life. You just explained like the bad way, right? How you don't want to do it. But what about, well, hold on a second.
I just explained it the bad way.
Explain the bad way, not exploited or whatever it is. There's times where, let me back up. There's times where there's a situation where you might have your money manage your life a little bit based on, here's what I'm trying to get at. How many people live in places that are way too much money than they can afford?
A lot of people.
Okay. So, and they have no real way to change that financially. So in that situation, maybe they make a decision to move somewhere where they can afford because it's gonna, like this, how about this situation you just said? Half of my income is going to my townhouse because I live in Seattle. Well, you know what? I could leave Seattle because I'm remote anyway, and I could work somewhere else, and it's a whole lot less expensive. So I'm kind of letting money drive that decision, but I don't think that's a bad decision. What do you think about that?
I think that moving is an amazing way to save an incredible amount of money. I think that you need to sit down with a yellow pad of paper or an Excel spreadsheet or whatever makes sense to you and look at your money, where it's going, and be willing to adjust to some of the changes if this is really, really important to you. Otherwise, very, very quickly, it's going to control you maybe forever.
Yeah. That's sad. It's depressing.
It's terrible. This is a terrible topic to talk about, but it's the end of the year, you know, and I can't count the number of times that I would, you know, back in the day when it was controlling me, where you go to the ATM machine and you're like, maybe I can get $20 out of this. I don't know. You know, I had a whole almost.
Is it a young rookie thing?
Yeah.
Because I did that too.
Absolutely.
I've walked through the grocery. I remember going through the grocery store with a calculator. I knew exactly how much I could spend, and I had to stand there in the grocery store and make decisions with my calculator in my hand on what we could afford and couldn't afford.
I remember literally taking home economics in high school and learning how to bake a cake and cookies and all kinds of awesome stuff, and learning how to sew a button on and all of that. And then there was a tiny little module about budgeting, and that's it.
And that's silly.
My parents never told, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's what this is. That's the way we are. That's the environment that we live in. And I don't think, you know, our kids don't seem to have this problem. And it's probably, I don't ever remember. No, I did with a couple of them. Sat them down and said, this is how budgets work.
We know what we did too. We kind of put them on that path ahead of time they worked. All the kids had jobs, you know, in high school, they all had jobs. I think that's really a good thing too, starting out there. And they laugh at the kids that they go to college with, that they graduate college and now they're getting their very first job ever. I'm like, what? And they're like, I know. This person doesn't even know how to get on a public bus. Yeah. I'm like, that's tragic. Look, they can't count change. That's tragic.
There's only a few ways that this ends. And I think I can count three in my head. Number one, you go to school and you get a job and you work your entire life. And if you're lucky in a job, you have a job with a pension, or otherwise you end up working your entire life because money's controlling you. It's managing you. Or you save, you're incredibly savvy, which most people aren't, including me. Save a little bit every every paycheck.
You're
take
very
some money.
Savvy.
Well, it's just took too long.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to have $13 come out of my paycheck to go into an IRA fund. So I have $120,000 when I turn 65. I'm just not going to do that.
I understand.
But you know, it's better than nothing.
It's true.
So the vast majority of the people that are in the workforce in this country, that's how that's going to end. The second way is you happen to be incredibly good at what you do and you get promoted a lot. This is probably the worst thing that can happen. In fact, I would rather work at McDonald's my entire life than get promoted into that, to that golden, it's just a false sense of, I don't know what that's.
Golden handcuffs.
Yeah, golden handcuffs. And so now you're working 40 to 80 hours a week in a management executive position, making $250,000 a year, which, you know, by anybody's standards, a ton of money. Maybe what does that end up being? $8,000 or $9,000 paycheck. And so now you got a bigger house, and you got a more angry wife, and you know, and you got a new stove because that's what you're supposed to do, and on and on. And this just that's worse. Or you can find something to do that you really enjoy, that's actually scalable, and work at it little by little by little. Like what was the name of the Martin today, and get yourself out of it. And so you are in complete control over it. And then cost control and revenue control. It's all about control. Because if you don't control it, like that garden scenario, it's going to get overgrown with weeds and bugs, and it will not yield any fruit or vegetables at the end.
Thank you. Good analogy. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us here at the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow's Jill Friday, and she's going to, I quote now, screw it and do it. Talk about a quote from Career Path 5.
Yeah.
This is sung to Jill for some reason.
Oh, totally. I'm like, Ed, I'm writing this down.
You're not alone in your real estate ambition.
Yeah, that was really, really funny.
020 offers to owners has an amazing year-end discounted deal. You should really take a look at it if you are the type of person who wants to take advantage of the year-end tax potential tax benefit and pre-plan your mailage for next year.
Yep.
Check it out.
It's 12 days of Christmas, ending on Christmas. So get on it fast. Just telling you right now. As does Land Academy. So check that out too. I have a great thing going on right now, end of the year, trying to help as many people as we can. We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.